Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review for you guys. Today we're looking at the Crosman Bushmaster MPW CO2 Blowback BB rifle. Now if you're interested in the Crosman Bushmaster MPW, this guy here, or the DPMS SBR right here, we have them in our online Replica Airgun store, so check the links out in the description of this video. We're going to focus mainly on the Bushmaster MPW because this is the newest version of this series. Now, right off the bat, I'm just going to say they're pretty much identical inside. They have the same internals. They're just cosmetically different. So if you like the SBR, if you've seen that review and you like the way it performs, the way it shoots, if you're just into that style of gun, well, you're probably going to be interested in the Bushmaster MPW because it's literally the same thing, just looks a bit different. There are a couple other nice little differences. There's some pros and cons between the two, and we'll kind of get into that. But let's go over the specifications first. The MPW is a 4.5mm steel BB rifle. It has full blowback operation and uses dual 12-gram CO2 cartridges. It has a 25-round metal dropout magazine that holds both the BBs and the CO2, the dual CO2 that is. It shoots in both semi and full auto. It also shoots up to 430 FPS with a 1400 round per minute full auto mode ability. Like the DPMS SBR, this gun weighs about 6.5 pounds. That's without any additional hardware. You'll notice I've got some hardware on top of the SBR here. The rail here, a little bit of basically something to add a little bit of height to the rail. And then I've got a scope here, a red dot scope. That does add some weight. So basically if I pick both of these up, this one will feel heavier, but if I take all the hardware off, they're going to be about the same weight. And again, that's 6.5 pounds. Now the MPW does not come with flip-up sights. You'll notice the SBR does. So you got the flip-up sights on the SBR. So that's something to consider when buying. That said, now the MPW does have an AR compatible 6-position buttstock. So basically it's an AR compatible buffer tube. Whereas the SBR is not AR compatible, so it's not an AR compatible buffer tube, so you can't run an AR buttstock. With the MPW you can mix and match whatever you want to do. Now both of them do have AR compatible grips, right, so handles. Both of them are going to be non-rifled in terms of the barrels, typical with steel BBs. The MPW is 21 inches in length, that's with the buttstock closed. Whereas the SBR is a little bit longer, just slightly longer, a little less compact, but both of them are really compact at the end of the day. Now with both guns, you're gonna find lots of places to put on additional hardware on the quad rails, right? So you can see there's a foregrip up here on the SBR that does come with the SBR, no foregrip with the MPW. So a couple things are gonna be a little bit different, obviously. And I will show you, but with both guns, you can take apart the upper and lower receiver and get at the internals if you wanted to just look at them or possibly do some cleaning or repair if necessary. And they both have working charging handles, dust cover, magazine release, bolt releases, and selector switches. You'll also notice the MPW does come with a red dot sight. So it's not gonna add a lot of weight, it's a pretty lightweight sight, but that's in place of the iron sights. You're gonna need something to line up your shots. And so, you know, if I were gonna choose between a red dot or iron sights, I'd probably go for the red dot. So I think, you know, if you're gonna go for one or the other and you don't mind not having iron sights, then go with the red dot version, go with the MPW. And lastly, they do come with the speed loader here, which you're gonna need to load up the 25-round magazine because you're gonna get through it pretty quick, especially shooting in full auto. In the box, you also get a couple tools. So this is to put on your red dot and adjust the red dot. Once you got it on there, you're gonna have to probably sight it in a little bit. I don't know exactly where mine's shooting at this point, but I'm sure it's probably pretty close. I'll be able to dial it in as I shoot it. Okay, so you got your manual. I'm not gonna go over this too much. There's a lot of small fine print here, but it's gonna show you how to load it, how to use it, how to shoot it, all of those things, how to load CO2, right? All of that. Pretty sure it even shows you how to take it apart. I'm not sure there, I have to look through this all, but I will be showing you how to take it apart, just so you know how to split the two halves. And if you haven't noticed, both of these guns are styled after the M4 or AR platform, and they're both made in Taiwan. Let's take a quick look at the box. All right, so here we have it, the MPW CO2 powered BB rifle, full auto blowback action, up to 400 rounds per minute. Okay, adjustable, AR compliant, compatible stock, right? We have the AR compatible pistol grip, up to 430 FPS, 25 round drop magazine, reload in seconds using the speed loader. Good to have that, right? Okay, what's on top there? Red dot sight included. On the back, some slightly different information. Got your Picatinny quad guard rail, quad rail, All right, there's your dropout magazine, shows the inside of it. We'll be looking at that too. Pretty much everything else is the same. Now to go over some of the differences between the SBR and the MPW. Well, obviously my version of the SBR is black, but there are other color options available in the SBR. We also have the MPW. As far as I know, it only comes in this tan and black model, but there may be a black version later. I don't know, all black possibly, right? The MPW comes with a red dot versus the SBR with iron sight. So if you want to add a red dot or what I've got here, you'll have to do that on your own. The SBR has a foregrip. The MPW does not. The MPW has an adjustable 6-position stock, just like the SBR, but this is AR compatible on the MPW, so you can take that off, put on whatever one you want, whatever one suits your needs. Both of them have AR compatible pistol grips. And other than that, they pretty much use the same hardware. You can mix and match magazines if you want to. I might do that when I do my field test shooting video. Instead of having to worry about loading it up again halfway through, I'll just load them both up and have a good old time. All right, let's take the SBR out of the equation. If you want to, you can watch that video. I am going to leave the magazine just because I have some CO2 in it. And I'll show you that it does work in both guns. Let's take a look at the MPW up close here. Really nice. Okay, so I want to show you around. Let's just see some of the detail, right? Okay, and you can drop it with the bolt release. Pretty sweet. Dust cover just pops open, right? You do have the magazine release here, just like you'd expect. There is no selector switch on this side, but there is one on the other side, obviously, so it's not ambidextrous. The forward assist is just for show. That's really one of the only parts on this gun that's just for show, but again, the charging handle completely works, and the bolt, flip it over, and the bolt release does as well, right? Here's your selector switch, okay, right? Better keep it in safe for now. All right, again, the magazine, I'll just drop that for now. We'll take a look at them in a second. You got your quad rail, right? You've got this mock suppressor, okay? The frame is polymer or plastic. The grips, the stock, the grips are plastic. This mock suppressor is plastic, but there's lots of metal parts inside. And the magazine is got a lot of metal, pretty much all metal as far as I can tell, maybe some plastic on the outside, but a lot of metal internally. You know, if you wanted to add a little bit more hardware on this gun, if you want to put like some sort of a tactical light or foregrip, or even a, you know, even a bigger red dot, maybe some iron sights and a red dot, then it's going to just make the weight a little bit heavier. But at 6.5 pounds, I think it's got a good starting weight, feels good. Right, you got 6 positions. I'm not going to show you them all, but they're incremental, right? 6 position, adjustable stock. Okay, there are 6. I've checked it out, and you can take it right off, I'm sure. How do you do that? There you go. Okay, so you can take it right off, expose your buffer tube, right? Okay, there's your Picatinny rail on top, your red dot sight. Okay, I don't know if we can show you it, if it'll actually line up or not for you. It's kind of hard to get into the camera here, but it does work. All right, let's take another look. Okay, the bolt. Okay. All right, I want to quickly look at the magazine. So you see here, you've got this cover, wrong side, I think. Okay, so you pop this cover off, and you can get at your CO2. Now you do have this key that's built right into it, which is cool. You're not going to lose it. Well, you could lose it, but it's pretty hard to lose it when it's built right in. And that key obviously is your Allen key for tightening the CO2. Okay, and of course you have your magazine here where you can load your BBs. Okay, you just pull this down and you load them from the bottom there and then release it. 25, it is not a double stack magazine, it's a single stack magazine, which is good because I think it's going to bind less. You're going to have less issues with feeding. Steel BBs, if they're not perfect, if they're not like uniform, if they got any corrosion on them or anything like that, having a double stack magazine can give you problems. And we know that with some other guns that use double stack magazines with steel BBs, okay? So that is no big surprise. Okay, let's just pop this in here and fire off a few rounds just for fun, okay? So I'm gonna just make the bolt release go down so that I can fire it a bit, right? Pretty cool. Get a little bit of blowback action because that internal bolt is moving around a lot. So that's pretty cool. Now what I want to do now is I want to take this apart for you guys. So you just push this back pin in and then pull it out from the other side. And then you're ready to open it up. Now maybe I got to drop this. It should be good. Okay, I might have to do that. Okay, so I had to fire it just to get that firing mechanism forward. But you'll see here, we've got all of our trigger works, trigger actions. You've got the recoil spring back here, the buffer tube recoil spring. Then you have a moving working bolt here, okay? And all inside, you've got all your other internals in there. Now, I could totally take this gun apart. I can remove this pin and actually separate the two halves if I want to, but I'm not going to at that point. I don't think we really need to. And then you just pop this guy back in. Easier said than done. There it is, a little tight, that's okay. All right, so let's go over some of the pros and cons and wrap up this review. All right, it's a super realistic working M4 AR style 4.5mm BB rifle, just like the DPMS SBR, but just in a different flavor and with a couple little changes or upgrades if you want to call that, because it is the newer model. It has full blowback operation with both semi and full auto shooting. You can feel the blowback operation rocking the gun back and forth just enough to give it a little bit of feel there. At 6.5 pounds, I think it's just about the right starting point. If you want to add some stuff to it, some accessories, it's going to just get a little bit heavier, so you don't want this gun to be too heavy. Now, almost everything works exactly like the real steel version. The charging handle, the dust cover, the bolt release, the magazine release, the selector switches, and so on. And again, it has that dual CO2 full metal dropout magazine that holds the 25 4.5mm steel BBs as well as the CO2. I like that it has the adjustable and customizable AR buttstock. That's definitely an improvement from last year's model. And it's nice that it comes with an included red dot sight rather than the pop-up sights. If I were to have my choice again, I'd rather go with the red dot. Iron sights are cool and everything. You can get standard iron sights if you want and add them to this gun. It will add a little bit of weight. You might have to put a riser up there just to get the red dot up and over those pop-up sights a little bit, but you should be able to do it no problem. And again, there's lots of ways you can add additional hardware using the quad rail, whatever you want, foregrip, tactical light, red dot, lasers, you name it. Couple cons, now the receiver is plastic, but the gun's well made even though there is some plastic externally. It doesn't compromise the feel or weight since there's lots of metal throughout this gun to give it that additional 6.5 pound weight. Again, no iron sights included, so if you're into iron sights, maybe go with the DPMS SBR, and similarly, there's no foregrip. So again, if you're into iron sights and perhaps the foregrip, or either buy them additionally or go with the SBR version. Again, if you're interested in either of these Crosman AR style full auto BB rifles, then make sure to check out the links in the description of this video to buy them in Canada and the US over at ReplicaAirguns.com online stores. We also have additional products in both of those stores: air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, pellet guns, and other accessories. Also come on down to ReplicaAirguns.com where I'll have a full written article with additional photos there for you to check out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.